Good afternoon, I'm Rachel Manin. Updates on the Facebook scandal, a plane crash in Algeria, and a 61-year-old college golfer. All this and more on today's Franciscan Beat News Brief. There are changes to several polling locations in Belmont County ahead of Ohio's primary election this May. Voter registration ended Monday, and Tuesday marked the start of early voting. Ohio's primary election is set for Tuesday, May 8th. Republican House Speaker Paul Ryan will not run for re-election, his office announced Wednesday, injecting another layer of uncertainty as Republicans face worries over losing their majority in the fall. In the 5 years since the Boston Marathon bombing, medical science has made promising advances in amputations and artificial limbs, in part because of lessons learned from the victims and research dollars made available as a result of the attack. Under fire for the worst privacy debacle in his company's history, Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg batted away often aggressive questioning from lawmakers who accused him of failing to protect the personal information of millions of Americans from Russians intent on upsetting the U.S. election. During some 5 hours of Senate questioning Tuesday, Zuckerberg apologized several times for Facebook failures, disclosed that his company was working with special counsel Robert Mueller in the federal probe of Russian election interference, and said it was working hard to change its own operations after the harvesting of users' private data by a data mining company. Defying Russian warnings against U.S. military strikes in Syria, President Donald Trump said Wednesday that missiles will be coming in response to Syria's suspected chemical attack that killed at least 40 people. An Algerian military plane carrying soldiers and their families crashed soon after takeoff Wednesday into a field in northern Algeria, killing 257 people in what appeared to be the North African nation's worst ever plane crash. Algeria's defense ministry said those killed included 247 passengers and 10 crew. The cause of the crash was unclear, and an investigation has been opened. In sports, for Atlanta, Phoenix, Dallas, and Charlotte, the end came in their basketball season finale Tuesday. There are 9 teams that know Wednesday is their last day of their season, and 15 teams have already clinched playoff berths. Then there are Minnesota and Denver. Game 82 for both teams will have a Game 7 of the playoffs feel, which is a fitting way to transition from the regular season to the postseason. Don Byers didn't know he was auditioning for a spot on the Bellevue University golf team when Coach Rob Brown joined his group as a guest at his club last August. Byers was booming drives close to 300 yards, making his putts and under par after 9 holes. Brown asked Byers if he had any eligibility left. Byers thought it was a joke. He's a 61-year-old grandfather after all. Brown called Byers a couple weeks later and said the offer stood. Now Byers is a freshman on the Bruins' 7-man roster. In weather, the temperature finally looks like spring, a high of 56 and a low of 46. For Franciscan Beat, I'm Rachel Manin.